Today we're covering STAAR Mixed Review number 11. And today I'm just going to give you some hints and you're going to figure out what you need to do. Number 1, a group of students formed a circle during a game. The circumference of the circle was about 43.96 feet and the diameter of the circle was 14 feet. Which expression best represents the value of pi? It's wanting us to put pi by itself. And it's talking about circumference, so we need to start with the formula for circumference. There's two formulas for circumference. If you look at your chart, they are that. And since they gave us the diameter, I'm going to use that formula. Now I need to manipulate the formula so I get pi by itself. To get pi by itself, I'm going to need to get rid of the d, or the diameter, and since that's multiplication, I'm going to divide. When I do that, those cancel, and now pi is by himself. And on the other side, I have circumference divided by diameter. Now that I have the formula correct, I can go back and plug in the numbers, and that will match one of the answers. Number 2, the diagram shows a door that has a window in it. The front face of the door and the window are similar rectangles. They have the dimensions shown. What is h, the height of the window in centimeters? Since the two rectangles are similar, we can set up a proportion. So the measurement on the big rectangle, I have 84, and the other measurement on the big rectangle is 210. 84 matches to 60, and the 210 matches to the h. Now you might want to try to simplify before you cross multiply and solve the equation. So what could we simplify 84 and 210 by? Well, they're even, so at least by 2. And then you cross multiply, and that would be 42 times h equals 105 times 60, and then you're going to need to divide both sides by 42. Number 3, an architect built a scale model of a sports stadium using a scale in which 2 inches represents 30 feet. The height of the sports stadium is 180 feet. What is the height of the scale model in inches? Anytime we're talking about a scale or we're given a rate, we can set up a proportion. So 2 inches to 30 feet, and then the 180 feet would match up with the other 30 feet, and we can solve the proportion. You might want to simplify first. They're both even numbers, so you could divide by 2. And then we cross multiply. 1 times 180 would be 180. And the other way would be 15 times some variable. And then the next step would be to get the variable by himself, so we do that by dividing. And once you divide, then you will have your answer. Number 4, the dimensions of a triangular prism are shown in the diagram. What is the volume of a triangular prism in cubic centimeters? So we're looking for the volume of a prism. I need to use the formula for volume of a prism. And according to our formula sheet, it says volume equals area of the base times the height. And anytime there's that capital letter B, that means we need to fill in a formula for the base. The base is shaped like a triangle, so I want to use the shape of a triangle, base times height divided by 2, times the height of the prism. Then we fill in our numbers for the base. The base looks like it measures 12, and the height is 8. So 12 times 8 divided by 2 times the height of the prism, and the height is the distance from one base to the other base. So the distance is 34. And they put in some trash. We almost never use the sides there, so that's trash. Simplify and solve, and then you'll have your answer. Number 5, some of the dimensions of a square pyramid are shown in the diagram. The height of the square pyramid is 7.5 meters. What is the volume of the square pyramid in cubic meters? So there's volume. This time we're looking for the volume of a pyramid. That formula is 1/3 times area of the base times the height. And there's that capital letter B again, so we need to fill in the formula for the base. This base is shaped like a square, so the formula for a square is base times height. But we're still going to multiply times 1/3, and we're still going to multiply times the height of the pyramid. Now we can plug in our numbers. So 1/3 times the base is 9 times 9. And the problem told us the height of the pyramid was 7.5. Looks like we can simplify 3 and 9. Only one of the 9s. And then we multiply straight across to get our answer. Number 6, an observatory is shaped like a cylinder standing on one of its bases with a dome on top. The diameter of the floor of the observatory is 64 feet as shown in the diagram. What is the circumference of the base of the observatory in feet? Since we're talking about circumference, we need the formula for circumference. And I'm going to use the one that has diameter, because that's what they gave us. Then we just need to plug in the numbers. So usually we can round pi to 3 times the diameter, which is 64. And when you multiply, remember, since we rounded, you'll need to pick the answer that is closest to your answer. Number 7, a company's logo was designed using circles of 3 different sizes. The diameter of 2 of the circles are shown. What is the area of the largest circle in square centimeters? So we need to know the formula for area of a circle. That would be pi times radius squared. Okay, well they told us this one is 6 and this one is 12. If we put both of those together, we'll have the diameter for the big circle. So 6 plus 12 makes 18. To find the radius, we only want half. So half of 18 is 9. Then we can plug that into our formula. Remember, the number we usually round pi to is 3 times radius squared, which means 9 squared, or 9 times 9. And then you just work that out. And remember, you'll pick the answer that is closest because we rounded to 3. Number 8. The top surface of a desk is composed of 2 rectangles and a triangle. Some side lengths of the top surface of the desk are shown. What is the area of the top surface of the desk in square feet? So we're finding the area of 3 different shapes, 2 rectangles and a triangle. Well, the formula for area of rectangle is base times height. And both of those look like they have the same measurements, 2.5 and 1.5. So if I figure out 1, I can just multiply by 2. And then I'll need the area for the the triangle, which is base times height divided by 2. But I don't see any measurements, so I'm going to have to kind of look. The base would probably be the same as that one, and the height would probably be the same as that one. So now let's go back and plug in those numbers. 2.5 times 1.5 times 2, and then 1.5 times 1.5 divided by 2. Once you get those two answers, then you add them together for the total area. Number 9, the sum of the measure of angle M and angle R is 90 degrees. The measure angle M is 5x plus 10 degrees, and the measure of angle R is 55 degrees. What's the value of x? Sum means we add. So if we add these two angles together, they're going to equal 90. So I have 5x plus 10 plus the 55 equals 90. The first thing we want to do is combine like terms. So these are alike because neither one of them have a variable next to them. So 10 plus 55 makes 65, and we still have 5x. So 5x plus 65 equals 90. Then we need to solve the equation. We would start out by subtracting 65 from both sides. And then when you keep going and get x by itself, then you'll have your answer. And remember, you need to bubble in your answer. Ursula surveyed 50 classmates about their favorite ice cream flavors. Each classmate chose one flavor. The results are shown in the circle graph. How many more of Ursula's classmates chose chocolate than vanilla? Well, I don't see a number for vanilla, but I know that percents are supposed to add up to be 100. So if I add all of those and then subtract from 100, I can figure out what vanilla is. So 14 plus 42 plus 18 74%. And I subtract that from 100%. And I get 26%. So vanilla is 26%. And if I want to figure out how many more, that means I'm subtracting. So 42 minus 26 would be 16%. But they didn't ask about what percent, they asked about classmates. So now I need to change that to a decimal and multiply. So 0.16 times 50 classmates. And then we'll have our number.